Hello everybody, this is Superintendent Steve Cluxton here at PTISD. I want to update you about what's going on with us right now. TEA did finally this week release their guidelines for the fall, and good news, we are going to be able to have school in the fall 5 days a week with the kids here. There is going to be a remote option for kids that want to choose, or families want to choose to be online. It'll be a full model online where they can do everything online. Get to that in just a second. What we do have on Monday, we have summer school starting. And they had released guidelines for summer school earlier in the year. These new guidelines kind of supersede those, so we make just a few adjustments that were a little bit different. But summer school is kind of a good practice run for us to go through some of these guidelines and get our kids trained up and our staff on exactly what procedures we need to follow. Summer school is a little easier because it's only about 15% of the kids, so things like social distancing and things like that are a lot easier to establish. Now, as the kids come to summer school, of course, when they get on that bus, they're going to have their mask on, and we're going to have a mask when we arrive at school until we can get seated in the classroom and get everybody spaced out and properly social distance. Then they can take that mask off. Now, when we get into the fall, that's going to be a little more challenging because there'll be more people here, but we'll work on those details as we prepare. But if wearing masks, it's not what I want to do. It's not what a lot of people want to do. But if it's what it takes in order to get our kids back on campus, then I'm willing to do that. I guess I'll put on a chemical suit if that's what it takes to get kids back in school. We're looking forward to getting them back, and so we are excited about that. We're trying to provide as a normal of an academic and school setting for kids as we can while ensuring their safety in the best ways possible. And so TEA's guidelines, I thought they did a pretty good job of setting those out. So we've got those in place. Also, if you are headed to summer school on Monday, the bus routes are on the transportation website. You can go there and check on that and give you approximate times for when they're going to be picked up. In the fall, if there's a safety issue or a concern you don't want to send your kid to on campus, you are going to be able to do remote learning, be able to do it online. Now, this is going to be a lot more robust than what we had in the spring. We've got new material going on. TEA has released a whole slew of new requirements that go along with this. There's going to be daily attendance taken, attendance log go with that. Even though they're remote, they're still going to be required to get on every day and progress. And so we're going to be monitoring that as well. Extracurricular activities aren't going to be available if you're online because those happen on campus. So if you're online, that's not available. And as far as getting into it, you're going to be able to get into online anytime. Say you start out on site and maybe great grandma moves in and she's compromised and you're really worried about your child bringing something home and you want to move them to an online setting, that'll be available at any time. But moving back onto the campus, that's going to have to happen at grading when grades are passed out, say at like 9 weeks or at the end of the semester, things of that nature. And that provides some consistency with our kids and doesn't get kids just going back and forth. But the online is going to be available. We've got a survey out. We're going to put it on our website. We'd love you to fill out. It doesn't lock your kid into either one, but we're just curious, how many people are interested in this. Do you have devices? Do you have internet, things of that nature? We've made a pretty big investment in tech devices and hotspots, trying to fill all those gaps for any of those kids that may need it, that are going to need to choose the online model. We anticipate that the vast majority of people will be on site. We also invested in a lot of safety equipment. We bought reusable masks for all of our teachers and all of our students. We also have a good assortment of disposable masks, so if a kid forgets that, we want to make sure that every kid's covered when they step on campus. We got face shields, tons and tons of hand sanitizer. We got thousands of gallons of that. Of course, when kids come on campus, they're going to have their mask on. We're asking parents and all staff, of course, to pre-screen before they come on campus. When they come in the building, they use hand sanitizer. Entering and leaving classrooms using hand sanitizer on a regular basis, washing hands. Custodians are going to be cleaning multiple times a day, wiping down touch spots. We'll be cleaning buses after every route, wiping down desks in between classes. And like I say, we'll be wearing masks when we have to, when we can't control social distancing. All those things are in trying to keep our kids as safe as possible, but at the same time provide the best academic and social emotional environment that we can for our kids. Like I say, please go on and fill out the survey for that so we can get some ideas about where our numbers are, so we know about how many sections of say online Art 1 we may need, or how many sections of on-campus Art 1 we'll need. This is a fluid situation, and TA has let us know that, you know, any of these things could change as the conditions on the ground change. So we have to be prepared for that. We're going to be taking TEA's guidelines and putting them in, you know, detailing them out for how they'll look at Pine Tree. We should have that post on the website. Give us about a week and a half. We should have those posted, knowing that they could be altered a little bit between now and August 19th when school begins. UIL has said that they are planning on going with the schedule and starting the UIL activities in the fall. They may look a little different. We don't know if there will be any limitations on crowds or things of that nature, but it is good to know that our kids that's going to be available for them, you know, to the extent that we can make it available. You know, things like you know, fourth grade music program and awards assemblies. Those things may look a little different. We're going to do our best to provide that, but maybe we it's by invitation only. It's limited on numbers because we've got to keep our kids safe, and you know, when people come on campus, they're going to have to put on that mask. And like I say, it's one of those things that a whole lot of us don't really, you know, like to do and would rather not have to. But if that's what it takes to get our kids here and provide the educational services, then that's just what we have to do, because that does cut down on the spread of it a great deal, and allows us to keep our kids here and not having to send them home repeatedly for a 14-day quarantine or something along that line. So we are looking forward to getting the kids back. Very excited. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to give us a call or shoot me an email. My cell number is 903-806-0840. Give us about a week and a half, and we'll get the guidelines up. You can go to TEA's website if you'd like to read their guidelines. TEA's website /coronavirus, and go under they've got several sections down there. You can go to health postings, and they'll have that. Also, don't forget the survey for us. I believe that has us covered. Like I say, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to give us a call. Have a great day.